welcome in to the Rob Bro Show. I'm Rob Bro. I am the host. You are the co-host. You can co-host today by commenting on the starting line, chat line. If you're on YouTube, well, of course you would be. You can't watch this show anywhere else. It's only on YouTube. You can comment, subscribe, hit that like button. We always appreciate it. We always love it. We love to see it. You really do. Also, it's Texas week. Carson, how you doing?
I'm great, Rob. It's Texas week. It's hate week.
Yeah,
right.
I don't love that terminology.
I don't either.
But I will say this. I'll say it like this. I generally don't like that terminology. But Overreaction Monday, good God, these people are annoying this year. Have they gotten more annoying now that they're leaving to the SEC?
I think they're more annoying just because they know that they can do whatever they want and they're leaving and they won't have to deal with it anymore after this year.
Good God. They have held on to last year, the locker room comments after the Texas game. I told you they were going to break, and they did. Everything runs through Lubbock. That whole speech, they can't get over it.
No.
And now I've already seen them retweeting Brett Yormark saying, I'll be there in Austin.
To watch you beat their...
Yeah, Texas fans want to deny him access to the stadium. They don't want to grant a pass. I bet he could buy a ticket, but
you think he's got the money?
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Texas fans are about as petty as they come, right? Because they think that everybody should just bow down to the University of Texas. That's why people call them T-SIPs, because they think they're better than everybody else. It's been like that for days and ages, and as long as I've been alive, ever since, my first trip to Austin when I was probably not even a year old, I'm sure it's been like that. My dad being in the athletic offices at Texas Tech. So quite a few people that I know from Austin. Now, there's some good people around the Texas athletics department. Don't get me wrong. Lots of good people around there, but there's just the fans in general. Now, there's some Tech fans that are arrogant, and I can't stand it on Twitter. And
are as bad.
Tech fans are some garbage on Twitter as well, but Texas fans have this like superiority complex with them. That's the thing.
Annoying. And I'll say this as well. This Allen's comment here for not being a rival of UT. They're sure acting like we are. I didn't ever feel like we were.
No.
Until the last 2 years. And I absolutely feel like we've risen to that level.
Well, and I think that Kyle Umlong has really pushed that narrative as well. And he's the one who's made it more of a rivalry than anybody, to be honest.
Tech Fact Tuesday. I haven't noticed any Tech Fact Tuesdays this year. I guess I might have it muted. But
yeah, I think he's been doing Texas A&M facts.
Well, he does that. He's written 3 books. That's his lifeblood.
Yeah, which is Thursday, crazy.
Rent free, in my opinion.
How do you make a living off of that? And the fact that he can...
I don't think it's a living, but yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, so it's just...
no offense to Kyle Umlong. I respect the grind. I
douche, but yeah.
Well, I think you can be a douche good at your job.
That's true. That's fair. There's a lot of people that that's what people say about us.
Yeah, you could argue that I'm a douche. I make it my own personality.
You and I both.
D. Wayne says moving Rusty Stats away from center was the most important decision this year. Yeah, and if he had an elbow issue, why wasn't it done 3 games before? Or why wasn't Dennis Wilburn just the center this year? Because he was one of, if not your best player on offense last year all year. Just bring in Rusty and let him play guard.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I think they tried to be too cute and too what's the word for it? I don't know that they used analytics for what they did on the offensive line, but Rusty Stats, I mean, Wilburn, I guess they wanted to leave him at a guard position, but it wasn't even the same position as he played last year.
Right, he was the center last year.
Yeah, he was the center. So
and it worked.
Yeah, and it worked. He was really good. That analytically should be enough for you to keep him at center. I don't know why you would put him at guard. Maybe they thought they would be better there, but obviously it didn't work. Rusty Stats was not good at the center position. It
Well,
should have been
he
changed.
had an elbow injury.
Yeah, okay. Should have been changed after the Wyoming game.
Yeah.
And they just didn't make the decision to change it yet. And obviously, it's one of those deals where you can't help that two of your top quarterbacks go down and you're playing with a true freshman for a couple games. But
you've seen big improvement from the offensive line in the first 2 seasons here.
yeah,
I would like to see more improvement year to year and not from week to week, because you don't start out great, you finish great. I would like to, finish good one year, start good the next year, and then be great at the end of the year. I'd like
yeah,
to see some continuity there year to year, but I don't know how much you'll have this year to next, because at least
not a
all
whole.
the guys are leaving.
Yeah, I was gonna say not a whole lot of guys are coming back.
But potentially Monroe Mills and Jacoby Jackson, who started several games.
Yeah, those are the only two guys really with any starting experience that will be coming back.
Yeah.
So,
and the rest of it, I have no idea on eligibility.
Yeah, it's eligibility, man. Since COVID,
it does.
It's hard to tell, and some guys can declare for another year of eligibility, and some can't. So
and there's mysterious waivers, and
you never know who's going to come back.
But he played 4 games in 1972, but he can still play now. I don't know what's going on.
And we talked about it in the beginning of the year, is that this offensive line might be one of your best position groups just because of all the experience. I mean, we said how many starts did they have combined in their college careers between them?
Not at the Power 5 level, but it starts.
Yeah, and we thought they would be really one of the strong suits of this team. Hasn't panned out that way, obviously, especially early. Lately, they've been playing pretty well. I think Taj Brooks has a lot to do with how good the offensive line has played, because Taj can make anybody look good. I mean, the dude just bounces off of first and second and third contact so easily. It's not, he can get hit at the line of scrimmage or behind in the backfield for a TFL, and it's not a TFL. He gets 6 yards out of the play.
And you've also moved the pocket with Baron Morton, or at least you did with UCF.
Yeah, and that was really when important. You threw 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You threw 2 touchdowns off moving the pocket, which is a sign of anytime you see a team moving a pocket, Rob, what does that tell you? It tells you that you don't believe you can create one. So you have to move it and move the defense with you.
Or your quarterback throws well on the run.
That's fair. I mean, Barron does throw pretty well on the run, especially his shoulder looked a lot better on Saturday. I don't know how bad it felt on Sunday or after the game on Saturday.
Overreaction Monday, he's above 80% now.
Yeah, health-wise, yeah. I would agree with that. I don't think that's
an
overreaction.
He looked 90, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Baron Morton played his best game of his college career on Saturday. There's an overreaction for you.
West Virginia last year.
West Virginia was good last year, yeah. But didn't Donovan Smith play some of that game? Yeah.
No. If he did, it was after the blowout.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It was a blowout against West Virginia
last year. It was like 48-10, yeah. So, D. Wayne says, I've seen some really nasty comments by Twitter UT fans, Tech fans just trolling them, and UT fans lose it. Yeah.
It's not a shocker. Yeah.
And look, it certainly goes both ways on Twitter, but it just feels like UT fans, and maybe it's because I resonate with Texas Tech fans, it doesn't seem as egregious, but they just sound so stupid.
Yeah. Well, and here's their only argument is, well, what's the overall record? What did we do 2 years ago to you? Like, come on, man. You're reading into this thing way too much, dude. There's a point in trying to get someone riled up, and you've done it whenever they just start rattling off their only excuse for there's no recent success that they can talk to, right? Other than Sam Ehlinger and that team winning the Sugar Bowl back in, what year was that? 2019? 2018? What year did they win the Sugar Bowl? Yeah. anyway, before Kirby Smart and Georgia really started kicking everyone's rear end. But that's the only recent success this program has had. Texas Tech, on the flip side, hasn't had a ton of recent success as far as bowl wins and all those things go either. But you've had some success against Texas lately in certain situations.
They've had success this year. They've won 10 games.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
They
they're a really good team.
They went immediately from their 10th win, instead of celebrating that, to talking about how they were going to end Texas Tech and kill them and just rip their heads off. And it's like, whoa, I thought this wasn't a rivalry.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is they want to say how bad it's not a rivalry, but you make it a rivalry whenever you do this on Twitter. You're in everybody's comments. Any Tech fan that posts anything on Twitter, I don't even know how these Texas people find it, to be honest with you.
Alerts.
Yeah, and they must all have you and Kyle on their alerts, because anytime you tweet something out or Kyle tweets something out, it's all of a sudden there's 55 Texas fans in the comments before one single Tech fan's in there.
We had the Joey McGuire press conference today. I guess it's still going on with the coordinators, but Joey said some things earlier I wanted to talk about, namely, expected to be back this week, Miles Price, Tyler Owens, Bryce Ramirez, Jalen Hutchings, which he went down, and I didn't expect him to come back this season after he went down against UCF. It just kind of looked like one of those things, especially as a senior. And then Dadrian Taylor Demerson also back, allegedly day-to-day there with Rabbit. You're not going to have Jacob Rodriguez. He's going to redshirt. He's played in his 4 games, allegedly. So, no, let's just pretend no Rabbit, no Hutchings, no Rodriguez.
I mean, talk about Bryce Ramirez is next, so no Bryce Ramirez either.
Yeah. So it's going to be all hands on deck. You're going to see a lot more Chapman Lewis. You're going to see a lot more Brendan Jordan. Dingle should be back. If he hasn't exhausted his eligibility, redshirt wise. And then you might even see Sensei, old Justin Horn, out there a little bit at middle linebacker, depending on Pierre and Ramirez.
Yeah. And the thing that I say too is, now that you're bowl eligible, like, how far do you go to not, like, these guys? It doesn't, like, this game now, it means something, but it doesn't mean a whole lot anymore, right? Like, you're bowl eligible, you're going to go to a bowl game, 6-6, 7-5. It does feel a lot different, obviously. I don't know that your bowl pick will change dramatically if you beat Texas. Obviously, some people will think
it doesn't matter,
but it doesn't matter, because they're going to choose. Like, Texas Tech is going to either play at 6-6 in the Texas Bowl because they love the way they can get a crowd there, or they're going to play 6-6 in the First Responders Bowl or something like that. And I don't know what the bowl picks are this year, but I know the Texas Bowl is probably one of them.
Literally everyone in the middle is the same.
Yeah.
They're just going to pick based on beauty contests. You're not going to go to the Texas Bowl back-to-back. You probably won't go to the Liberty Bowl since you were there 2 years ago.
Right.
Oklahoma was 6-6 last year and went to the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yeah.
Cheez-It Bowl is now the Pop-Tarts Bowl. They're not going to go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl in Orlando. You'll be at the guaranteed rate or the First Responders.
Which one in Arizona?
The guaranteed rate bowl.
Yeah. That is at the top of my list, because Texas Tech has not played a bowl game in Arizona in quite some time, since the Inside Bowl was the last time.
Yeah. Or Shreveport. But Shreveport's going to be like North Texas or
the Advocare Bowl.
Yeah. I don't want to play, Coastal Carolina in Shreveport. Like,
you don't want to play a group of 5, yeah.
Like you played USF in Birmingham. Like, that doesn't do anything for you.
Ugh.
Especially if you lose.
That USF game was hard to watch, man.
Yes, it was. But as far as bowls, I would love to play a Big Ten school. Like, give me, I don't even know who's bowl eligible in the
Nebraska could get bowl out. They could be 6-6.
They beat Iowa. No, hey,
yeah.
Nebraska, Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Rule, Joey.
How good would that be? How fun would that be?
26th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in that one. I'm on that one.
Or
That's
beat
the
Iowa first.
yeah. Let's speak that into existence here.
Manifest.
Yeah, manifest it. Or you could end up seeing a team that you might play next year in the Big 12. I don't know. It could be a Pac-12 school because they're going to have so many bowl eligible teams. It could be a UCLA that you play. UCLA's what, 6 or 7 and going to be 7-5.
There's a great chance for a Pac-12 school or a Big 10 school.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Liberty Bowl, if you go back there,
SEC
an
school.
SEC school. I want one of those, and then obviously the Texas Bowl as well. I don't think you'll go back there again. You obviously could, but I don't think you will. But yeah, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, the Advocare Bowl, or whatever it is there in Shreveport. I think either of those would be great.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Overreaction Monday, you will be in a bowl.
It's a good thing that's not an overreaction this Monday.
And it does not matter what happens on Saturday. If you win or lose, it's all baked in. There's so many, like, just look at the Big 12 standings. Big 12
Yeah, everybody's stacked in the middle. Like, there's so many teams stacked at 5 wins, right?
Yeah.
West Virginia's 5-3, Texas Tech's 5-3. I believe Iowa State's 5-3.
Let's start with West Virginia here, who probably will win this weekend. But they're 7-4, and then you have 6-5, 6-5, 7-4, 5-6, 5-6, 5-6. So if UCF, BYU, TCU plays Oklahoma to get bowl eligible.
Yeah, that won't
UCF
happen.
plays Houston to get bowl eligible.
UCF plays Houston, yeah.
And then Iowa State plays Kansas State in Farmageddon. So they could potentially be 6-6. So if you're 6-6 and Iowa State 6-6 and TCU upsets Oklahoma and they're 6-6 and BYU beats Oklahoma State and they're 6-6. By the way, the Big 12 tiebreaker situation is not as difficult as everyone's trying to make it out to be.
Yeah.
Turn your brains on for 2 seconds and
it's not hard. Also, if TCU beats Oklahoma this week, they go to 6-6.
Yeah.
Does the bowl selection committee at 6-6 and towards the bottom of the conference, does TCU get the stay in Dallas and play in the First Responders Bowl, which opens up the Lockheed, or do they keep them at home and play in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl because that would be the best crowd they've ever had?
I don't think they'll play in their own stadium.
No, I mean, I wouldn't think so, but if you're the bowl committees and you want to make some money, it'd be the best crowd they ever had at that bowl game.
Can you imagine? I think Baylor playing at TCU Stadium last year in a bowl was bad, but TCU playing at SMU Stadium for a bowl would be even worse.
Oh,
that would be so funny.
Oh, that'd be good. And, SMU Stadium is going through a renovation as well in the same end zone that Texas. Yeah,
that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk.
I just don't understand why you have bowl games affiliated with, like, I'm surprised Brett Yormark is letting the Big 12 be a part of the First Responders Bowl or the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl when it's at a Big 12 stadium. Does that not kind of rub you a little bit?
I think this is the worst you're going to be for some time this year. So if you can avoid it this year, it doesn't bother me because I don't think you'll be playing in it.
That's fair. Would you rather play at TCU at Amon G or at Gerald J. Ford Stadium? That's the question. Like, which one would you rather play at?
I'd rather play at a Big 12 stadium.
Yeah.
I think for Tech fans, it wouldn't matter. It's not like TCU's a rival either. It's worse for Baylor.
Yeah, that's true. They used to play the First Responder Bowl, the Surf Pro First Responder Bowl at the Cotton Bowl. Yeah. Like in the Cotton Bowl at the Fair Park. But I don't know why they don't play it there anymore.
Is that the early one? Is that the one on the 16th?
That's on December 26th.
There's one on the
The
16th.
16th is the Independence Bowl in Shreveport.
Okay, I don't want to do that one.
That's against a Pac-12 team. That would be against UCLA or
Yeah, but I want
Washington
Micah
State.
Hudson and Will Hammond to get 10 or 12 practices with the boys for no reason.
I don't think they can practice until
They
January,
can.
though. Really?
Joey said today.
Really? They can practice in December?
Yeah.
I guess once the first semester's done, they can enroll.
Suit them up, baby.
Yeah, they can enroll.
Yeah. That'd be the best scout team they've had all year.
And the first semester will be done next week, this week, next week.
I think there's
finals are next week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not really engaged with that anymore, but
yeah, that makes sense. You can enroll right after the semester's over.
Okay. I want to go back to this tiebreaker nonsense because it has been a bugaboo on the timeline for 3 days now. There was the clarification last week that everyone blew up on. Kansas State people were crying in their milk over breakfast. Oklahoma State fans were like, no, this makes sense because it kind of was geared toward them. Oklahoma was mad. Look, if you want to be in the Big 12 title game, win your games.
Yeah.
Don't leave it. Dana White always says, don't leave it to the hands of the officials, right?
Knock him out.
In the UFC, don't leave it to the hands of the officials. Just knock them out. Finish the fight. You finish the fight. Texas potentially this weekend can finish the fight and clinch. But in year one of a divisionless, non-round robin conference.
Super conference, yeah.
With 14 teams, people didn't think there was going to be some weird scenarios at the end where everybody didn't play everybody and there was going to be – think about the 18-team Big Ten next year with no divisions. And you're just going to go to the 1-2 format where Michigan and Ohio State can play in the Big Ten championship every year. How many weird freaking scenarios are there going to be? In the SEC with 16 or 18. How many strange concoctions are there going to be at the end of the season where you have – well, if Missouri and Florida lose by 12 and the wind blows from the northeast and Alabama misses a field goal in the second quarter, then Georgia will play LSU in the SEC championship. I mean, it's just going to be crazy the next couple of years.
This is why I don't like having no divisions. Yeah. I think you have to have divisions if you're going to be a super conference.
And if you want to be a super conference, pod up.
Yeah.
And have a semifinal game in the final week of the regular season.
That's a great idea. Yeah, one less. Don't play that crappy FCS school that you played last week. A&M played ACU. Georgia State or whoever, Eastern Mississippi of Georgia played at Florida.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Everybody has 8 conference games, 3 non-conference. And
yeah.
then the last week of the season, like if you're the 12th place team, you get matched up with somebody you hadn't played yet outside of the semifinal, and you get to play a final game, home and away, whatever it is. You get a guaranteed home game or a guaranteed road game every other year.
Yeah.
And then the top the top 4 teams play each other, and then those 2 teams move on. The winners play for a conference championship.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the only way to do it without divisions. I just don't understand why you wouldn't have divisions, but if you aren't going to have divisions, have the pods, do those things where you have common opponents. There's no gray area of who should go to the championship. What's this tiebreaker supposed to be? None of that. Who wins the North? Who wins the South? It's pretty simple.
Okay. So I want to read through these scenarios with you. Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
On Friday, if Texas wins, they will clinch a championship berth and a number 1 seed home team in Arlington.
Yeah.
Oklahoma can remain in contention with a win or loss against TCU. It depends on the rest of the conference. But Oklahoma really needs to win. If Oklahoma State beats BYU, the Cowboys clinch.
That'll happen.
They're a 17-point favorite or something crazy.
Yeah.
In Stillwater. So why everybody's freaking out when that's the most likely scenario, I don't know. If Oklahoma beats TCU on Friday and Texas wins and Oklahoma State loses, the Sooners will meet Texas in Arlington.
Worst case scenario right there.
If Kansas State beats Iowa State, Texas wins, Oklahoma loses, Oklahoma State loses, the Wildcats are in the championship. Now, let's go back to the Big 12 standings because those are the ones that matter.
Here's an overreaction Monday for you, Rob. If those three teams lose,
yeah,
obviously Texas would have to lose 2 here for my scenario because Texas Tech would then be 6-3. Oklahoma State would be 6-3. Oklahoma would be 6-3. Kansas State would be 6-3.
Yeah, that's where I was getting.
Texas Tech, yeah, you were getting there too? Okay, because that's where my head was going. Now you keep going.
Now, okay. Texas Tech wouldn't own any tiebreakers to get up.
Right, no, because they haven't played anybody but Kansas State in that scenario.
But technically, there are allegedly, according to the Big 12, there are 126 possibilities for the final weekend, which mathematically does not make sense to me.
No, it doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make any sense at all. There's only 7 games, right? And that would be 14 outcomes.
Yeah, that's it.
So 14 times, I don't know how that works. I don't know how probability and statistics works.
I don't know how 126 probabilities is, though.
Yeah, it should be 128.
Because this game doesn't, Kansas-Cincinnati doesn't matter. West Virginia-Baylor doesn't matter. I mean, I guess it does if Oklahoma State and all them. West Virginia would then be 6-3 in the conference.
Yeah, West Virginia can be 6-3. You could end up with Texas at the top at 7-2, and then 5 or 6 6-3 teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, because if Iowa State beats Kansas State, they'd be 6-3 in the Big 12, and Kansas State would be 6-3 in the Big 12.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy things can happen, but let's be honest. Oklahoma State's going to beat BYU.
Yeah.
In Stillwater, and this is all going to be a moot point.
I hope they don't, just so it's chaos.
Yeah, that's fair.
I hope TCU wins, Texas Tech wins, and BYU wins this weekend. Whatever else happens. I just would like those 3 things to happen. Texas is in. Texas is in the Big 12 championship.
Yeah, they've already clinched a spot. Yeah.
Who they're gonna play against. I honestly would like to see them rematch against Kansas State. They put up a fight, but whoever it is, it is. I would love to see Alan Bowman. Not love to see, but it would be funny to see Alan Bowman in a championship setting.
Do you think who do you think out of those 3 teams, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Kansas State, has the best chance of beating the Longhorns? Because I don't think it's Oklahoma, even though they've already beat them.
Yeah, Oklahoma beat them, so it's hard to say.
I don't think it's Oklahoma, though, because if they don't have Dylan Gabriel, then there's no way. And that the Red River rivalry game in Dallas is always one that can go either way. In a Big 12 championship game, I think it's a different atmosphere, a different feel to that rivalry than, say, that game is in October.
Yeah.
I think it's totally different.
All right. Let's run through a little bit of basketball here, and then I have a couple baseball questions. Got to get to a Thanksgiving lunch after this, so
get it.
We can run through it pretty quickly. College basketball going strong. I don't know if you've noticed, but Kansas has started well, and Kevin McCullers has been a huge part of that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you've noticed Illinois at all, but
Terrence Shannon's been a big part of them too.
Terrence Shannon has been amazing, and Davide Moretti's little brother is at Illinois.
That's right. I forgot that Davide's little brother is there. Yeah, I think Terrence was a big key in getting him to come to Illinois as well.
They're 6 years apart, the Morettis.
Yeah,
and Terrence Shannon has played with both of them. which isn't as
COVID,
crazy.
baby.
It's not as crazy as it sounds because you could be a junior and then a player could come in and play for 3 years and then the next guy's there. So
Yeah.
not as
And
crazy.
Terrence is averaging, TJ's averaging 20 points a game,
Yeah.
close to it.
And he had
right now for Illinois.
He had a really strong start last year. Hopefully he can play like that all year. I love Terrence Shannon. I hope he plays great.
He was good for him in the tournament last year. Yeah.
But what I was getting to was the Red Raiders in the Bahamas, and the battle for Atlantis. Great matchups potentially. If you beat Villanova, you'd likely play North Carolina. I think they're 20th and 21st in the country. And then potentially you could play Arkansas or Stanford or who else is there? Michigan.
Michigan, yeah.
And then some other punk.
UNI, Northern Iowa.
No, Northern Iowa. And then who else is Memphis?
Memphis. There you go. Penny Hardaway.
Really a punk school, but they're not Power 6.
No, they're a heck of a basketball program.
Oh yeah, they're still a fine program, but
yeah.
Dream scenario. You ready?
Yep.
Dream scenario. Even though Arkansas has already lost this year to UNC Greensboro, I think. Dream scenarios: you beat Villanova, you beat, or just get to play North Carolina, because just playing them will help your RPI or your net, whatever they call it now. And then getting to play Arkansas just because it's must bus. By the way, who's taller, McCasland or Musburger?
Probably Musselman.
Oh, a Musburger. Musselman.
I knew what you meant.
You think Musbus is taller than McCasland?
Yeah, I think he's taller than McCain.
I don't know.
McCasland ain't very tall, man. Have you stood next to him? He's not very tall.
Have you seen the Mus?
Yeah, I've seen both of them, and I think Eric Musselman's taller than Grant McCasland. Yeah, they're both about 5'7", 5'8", which makes me feel tall because I'm sticking it around 5'9".
Musselman is 5'7".
Yeah.
5'9". McCasland listed as 5'9".
No.
In the Baylor roster.
Then I'm 5'10".
So let's call it a 5'8".
I think I was listed at 5'10" in my college baseball roster too.
I think handshake line, McCasland, Musselman, you don't see much difference, but if you stood them back to back, I think McCasland has the edge.
That's fair. I
think McCasland has the edge. Regardless, I would love to play those three schools this weekend, but Michigan, you have a little history there. Memphis is what it is. If you play Memphis, I'm not going to complain about that either.
It'd be cool to play Arkansas.
The worst part would be playing like UNI and Stanford back to back when you could have all of those other combinations.
The good news, yeah, you could definitely end up playing UNI or Stanford back to back if you lose the first one.
But it's a really good, combination of teams.
Yeah, it's a great group of teams for sure.
You're going to have three good games.
It's Maui Invitational level of teams.
Yeah, the Maui Invitational kind of fell out there because Louisville and a couple of other teams didn't show up well. But
yeah,
certainly Maui Invitational this year. That's a much better field this year.
Yeah, Kansas is there this year. I can't remember who they're playing first round, but
did you see who did
UConn?
Who did Texas beat this week?
Texas beat Louisville by a bucket. Yeah.
Hey, Louisville looks way better this year.
Yeah, they're not even ranked in the top 25 though.
No, but they look much better.
Well, they should be much better this year. So
who's this? Who's a Texas freshman? Abmas.
Yeah, kid can go.
They were saying it funny on TV. On the old television, they were saying it funny. I heard it a couple of ways.
Yeah, Max Abmas averaging.
Is it Abmas or Abmas?
Abmas.
That's what I said, but I heard it Abmas.
I don't know.
Weird to me.
You never know.
On that one.
But 14.5 points a game for a freshman. It's not bad. But they have a good
Yeah.
test. UConn and Texas I think they're in the Bahamas too, yeah. And a different tournament in the Bahamas, the Siatva Empire Classic. Maybe not. I don't know where that is.
Siava?
Madison Square Garden. Never mind.
That's in New York.
Yeah, that's in New York. Definitely not in the Bahamas.
Anyways, you play Wednesday at 1:30 and then Thursday, Friday. So it's going to be a boom, bang, boom kind of thing. And look, you want to see Pop Isaacs get in the bucket a little more. You want to see Warren Washington. We talked about him the other day. There were some comments on that video that we were a little harsh on Warren Washington. I don't think so. He had a really good stat line, but just watching him, I don't think he's
got to be better. He's got to finish. He's got to be stronger. He's got to do it all around the rim.
And then you have kind of the rest of the team. Chance of Meal in the 6-man. Joe Toussaint has been playing really, really well. And then that all goes up against the West Texas sharpshooter, Brandon Hawson, who has, I think, 9 threes already.
Yeah, he can rip it from anywhere. Dude, if he's open from half court. Yeah.
Green light. Okay. Any other basketball thoughts there?
No. And Roy just said he's a little bit UT hasn't clinched a Big 12 appearance yet unless they can pull the upset. They've already clinched one because if those other teams win, they have the tiebreaker as far as all of that goes. So the only team they don't own a tiebreaker against is Oklahoma, but they own a tiebreaker. They would own the tiebreaker over Kansas State and Oklahoma State, even though they don't have a head-to-head over Oklahoma State because of their point differentials.
The craziest thing that could happen.
That big blowout loss at UCF really hurt Oklahoma State.
The craziest thing that could happen is Texas losing, Oklahoma State winning, Oklahoma winning, Kansas State winning.
Yeah.
And then you'd have a bunch of 7-2 teams.
Which Texas has the tiebreaker over Kansas State. Oklahoma has it over Texas, but Texas has
Oklahoma State has it over Oklahoma and Kansas State.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So,
in my mind, it was a lot more simpler than that, Rob.
Yeah.
I was thinking in my mind of Texas, but I'm pretty sure Texas has already clinched it to get into the Big 12 championship game.
There's like 120 options for Texas and clinching, and then like 10 ways they can't. It's gonna be a half a miracle if they're not playing in the Big 12 championship game.
Texas Tech would have to blow them out, I think, for them not to.
I don't think that matters.
Well, point differential though, right? That's the tiebreakers are.
I don't think the point differentials at all involved. It's all head to head, and then head to head with common opponents. Yeah, it's all about wins and losses, baby. All right, let's move to baseball, and not the Red and Black series, though I do want to talk about that plenty as we move along. We'll probably wait till February to get into college football season, or baseball season. But I want to talk about the Texas Rangers just real quickly. They did win the World Series. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, yeah? I didn't know that.
Shohei Ohtani is allegedly saying, if you tell people we met, I'm not coming to your team, which is awesome. But I have a would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather spend $800 million on free agent Shohei Ohtani, which is basically the price of both your middle infielders, and he can only DH the first year because he's going to have Tommy John.
He already had Tommy John.
He had Tommy John. That's what I meant. Or would you rather trade a good bit of your farm for Juan Soto and kind of let Leody Taveras walk? So would you rather go Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani. He's a generational talent. I don't think you can ever, if
Eight-
Shohei Ohtani is an option, if Shohei Ohtani is an option and you got the money to pay him, pay the man and bring him home, Rob.
The money, though.
I don't really care about the money. It ain't my money.
I know you save your farm if you sign Ohtani as opposed to trading for him.
You've already signed big contracts with Seager, Simeon, all the main guys, right? Yeah. Now, what does that leave you whenever in 4 years, 5 years, when Josh Young's arbitration is up and you're going to have to pay him? I don't know. What does that look like? What does Shohei Ohtani look like?
3 World Series in, you just say, have a good career, boys. We'll see you. We'll see you
appreciate it.
Contracts when you retire, buddy.
Yeah. We'll bring you back and put you in the Hall of Honor whenever you're done. Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can't say if you don't have the money, that's one thing. But if you got the cash to pay Shohei Ohtani, you pay Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's a once in a lifetime generational dude. Yeah. And the guy's gonna come back and he's gonna pitch. He's worth 600 million, 500 million just with his bat alone. I mean, the guy's an MVP without pitching, right? Like, that's how good he is.
Yeah, he's 29.
So sign him for 5-6 years.
It's going to be 7. By the way, Aaron Nola, did you see his contract?
No.
It was a little bit under what everyone thought. So people are saying Jordan Montgomery is going to get a lowballed. I hope we lowball him and he signs.
I mean, here's the thing. Lowball. $20 million for 4 years.
Something like that.
Yeah, I just think that if you have the funds, if you have the ability to give and go after Shohei Ohtani, you do it.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
You have to do it. I don't think there's any world where if you have the ability, and there's only a certain amount of clubs that have the ability to do so, right? This is the crazy thing about baseball without a salary cap. Like, not everybody is in on everybody. The Tampa Bay Rays can't afford Shohei Ohtani. The Baltimore Orioles can't afford Shohei Ohtani. The Cincinnati Reds can't even afford Shohei Ohtani. You know, teams like that, like a bigger market in Cincinnati over what Tampa Bay is. The Florida Marlins, the Miami Marlins, whatever you want to call them, can't even afford Shohei Ohtani, and they got money.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Juan Soto, by the way, 25, just 4 years.
Juan Soto, you won a World Series without a guy like that, right? And Leody Taveras looked pretty good at times. You have one of the best young outfielders in Evan Carter. He's 21, by the way. You have a really good infield coming back with Nathaniel Lowe, Marcus Simeon, and Nathaniel Lowe Shohei Ohtani could play first base for all I care, and you can get rid of Nathaniel Lowe. I don't care.
The Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, first baseman, you're getting rid of him?
Yeah. For Shohei Ohtani, if he wants to play first base, yeah.
All right, one more baseball tidbit. I'm gonna run through the Hall of Fame ballot. And you just give me a yes or no. Okay. Put your snooty baseball writers of America hat on. You ready? Bobby Abreu.
Yes.
Jose Bautista.
No. Screw that guy.
Carlos Beltran.
Yes.
Adrian Beltre.
Yes. That's a first ballot guy.
Mark Burley.
Ooh, probably not this ballot, but he'll get in.
Bartolo Colon,
the big sexy, yeah. Give him to me.
Bartolo, did you see the latest sports washing venture by the Saudis?
No.
They had a baseball league with Andrelton Simmons and Robinson Cano and Bartolo Colon and a bunch of these old washed up guys.
All the Latin players, that's all they can do. Yeah. Good for them.
Adrian Gonzalez.
I think he'll end up getting in, but he won't get in this time. No, I wouldn't vote for him this time.
Tennessee quarterback Todd Helton.
Todd Helton, yeah. I think Todd Helton's a Hall of Famer.
Matt Holliday.
Yes.
I told you to put your snooty hat on. You've already had 5 votes in one column.
How many votes do I get?
I don't know, but you have to mark down how many players you voted for. Torrey Hunter.
No.
Torrey Hunter, the new Angels first base coach.
Really? Didn't see that.
Did you see their manager?
No.
Ron Watt.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah. What are we talking about? Yes, I did.
Andrew Jones.
No.
Victor Martinez. I don't even know who that is. V-Mart?
Victor Martinez, catcher from Detroit. Yeah.
The catcher.
Yeah, played for Detroit.
Joe Mauer, another catcher. First base.
Canadian Joe Mauer.
Oh,
or no,
Canadian?
that was is Joe Mauer Canadian?
Sounds Canadian. I just know he has concussions.
The first baseman for the Twins during the Justin Morneau was Canadian. I don't think Joe Mauer's Canadian. Anyway, Joe Mauer is a heck of a catcher.
A bunch of those guys sound Canadian. Plouffe.
Yeah, Trevor Plouffe. Joe Mauer, he's a Hall of Famer, but probably is this his first ballot? I have to know if it's their first ballot or not. That makes a big difference for me right now too.
Ballot,
yeah, no, he's not a first ballot guy.
Andy Pettitte.
No.
Brandon Phillips.
No.
Manny being Manny.
This is what, his fifth ballot?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Manny Ramirez deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Will he get there? No.
Okay. Jose Reyes, first ballot.
No.
A-Rod.
No.
Yes.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Francisco Rodriguez.
No.
Jimmy Rollins.
What is this, his third or fourth ballot to be on? I think J. Roll deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, yeah. I mean, we're talking about one of the best switch-hitting middle infielders that ever played the game.
Gary Sheffield, his final chance.
I love Gary Sheffield, Rob, but I don't think he gets in.
Big Game James, first-year candidate.
No.
Chase Utley, first year.
Not his first year. He'll get in, though. He'll be a second or third year.
Omar Vizquel.
No.
Billy Wagner.
No.
David Wright, first year.
No. David Wright will get in, though. So will Omar Vizquel.
So you voted for 6.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
The only first ballot Hall of Famer I'd go with in there is Adrian Beltre. He's a shoo-in. And if he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then I don't know baseball. Like, I don't know how you can say, who can say Adrian Beltre didn't change the game, right? That wasn't one of the best players in Major League Baseball in his tenure on the diamond. Right? I mean,
yeah,
that's what you have to go off of. Adrian Beltre is one of the best third basemen to ever play the sport. Ever.
And he had longevity and all that people look for, and played for certain teams. He didn't win, but
he went to a World Series with the Rangers.
Nope. Came the year after.
I thought they went to the World Series his first year.
Michael Young was the third baseman that year, I believe. Leadership.
Yeah, and Michael Young retired, and then Beltre came.
Nope. Michael Young went to the
Phillies. Yeah.
The Dodgers?
Phillies, yeah.
Was that 2012?
Let's see. No, Beltre was in Texas in 2011.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Adrian Beltre played on the World Series team against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. Yes, top 12 players. Adrian Beltre is in there with Ian Kinsler.
Wow.
Yep.
I thought I've always thought he came the year after.
He hit 296 that year, led your team in batting average, except for Indy Chavez, who didn't have near as many plate appearances or at bats.
Izzy Chavez. What a game.
Yeah.
What a pull.
Yeah.
There you go.
Beltre hit 296. Michael Young hit 338 that year. 338?
DH?
Yeah, DH. Yeah. Had the most at bats on the team Michael Young had the most at bats on the team that year. 631 and hit 338.
Wow.
As a DH.
Okay, final bit of action here. I told the family I'd be there at 1:30. So we're kind of close here, but
you better get out of here.
Just in case we don't come together again, let's run through the Big 12 games.
Okay.
I've already picked them on the Gauchos, so you can go back and listen.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know your picks. I heard them.
But I'll let you run through these, Carson. So TCU, Oklahoma, 11.5.
Oklahoma. I'm not very confident in that.
Is it Dylan Gabriel? Is it Chandler Morris? Is it Vancouver? Like, who knows?
That's what makes me not confident in any of that. Yeah.
I would not bet on that game.
No, not even come close.
Houston, UCF 13.5.
UCF, they're going bowling.
Hammer it.
Dana's getting fired.
BYU, I don't think he does. I think Dylan Fertitta is too good of friends.
Giving him another year?
Yeah, it's the Big 12 luxury tax.
Yeah.
BYU, Oklahoma State, 17.5.
Oklahoma State wins and clinches a spot in the Big 12 championship.
On money line, but covers 17.5.
Yeah, covers. BYU is not good with that freshman quarterback. And I don't even know
what's on the road.
Yeah, on the road. They're bad on the road. Remember what TCU did to BYU on the road, Rob? And that was with Keaton Slovis.
Apparently, the BYU quarterback is of Jewish descent. And there was lots of Jewish nicknames being thrown around the timeline this weekend that he was approving of. BY Jew was one of them, which I
no. I don't even want to get near that. I'm not even getting near that.
That was his approval.
I don't even care.
He
can approve it all he wants, but I'm not getting near that.
The BY Jew. West Virginia, Baylor. +9 for Baylor.
Baylor stinks.
Stink in Waco.
Yeah, they're bad at home. West Virginia on the road. West Virginia's going to win 8 games. 8 games.
And they want to fire
Neil Brown.
Yeah.
They still want to fire him?
No way. Some fans do. Of course, they had the easiest schedule in the Big 12 now that shook out. But
still, 8 games.
Yeah. 8
games. A team that was picked in the bottom 4 of the conference.
Hey, $20 is $20. You know what I'm saying?
That's fact. It's fact. Burning couches are burning couches, man. That's 8 weekends you got to burn a couch in Morgantown.
Kansas, Cincinnati. I hammered this one.
Yeah, Kansas. Hammer Kansas.
Don't care who plays quarterback.
No, it does not matter.
And then Farmageddon is flat 10.
I thought that would be higher with the way Kansas State played last week. I do think that Iowa State is a good football team. Kansas State's a better football team, especially in Manhattan. Yeah, Kansas State covers the 10. Yeah.
All right, NFL, we got Monday Night Football picks.
You're going to ask me about Texas Tech.
Eagles, Chiefs. Oh, score prediction? Texas Tech.
Texas covers the 13.5.
Really?
41-28.
I picked a 10-point game for Texas to win.
41-28, Texas wins.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I hope it's close for a while. I mean, I hope it's something. Actually, I don't hope it's close for a while and get my hopes up.
If it's just don't do the 28 points in the first quarter, 70-35. You score all 35 in the second half, kind of thing. I can't live through that.
No. Yeah, Texas covers though 13.5. Okay. 41. Or wait, 41-28. That's 13. That doesn't cover. 42-28. There you go.
That makes more sense than 41-27.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
All right, Monday Night Football, the Kelsey brothers. Did you catch their new Christmas song?
I did not. I have not seen that. I've been seeing a lot of things on Twitter about it.
Got to go catch.
Yeah, I'll go listen to that.
Something about no on Christmas Day. Something. I don't know. It was all right. I'll take the Chiefs tonight. I'm still a Cowboys fan at heart, even though I try not to be. And I want the Eagles to lose again. I don't know who else will beat them on their schedule. I have not looked that far into the future.
I mean, the Cowboys needed an easy win this week, right? Before their short week on Thursday.
Yeah, they hammered the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, the Panthers are horrendous.
To cover, but
Panthers are horrendous.
Carson, can you attest in all the years you've known me doing this show that I am a pretty sharp picker?
Yeah, you are. Even though I won the winner factory on our last season of the Rob Bro Show.
No, you didn't.
I think I did. I came back and won on the last day.
No, that was you might have done that but I won.
Did Tucker win?
No. Tucker, no rants. No.
Big Duck Tuck?
No, he never won. I think you won the second to last season, and I won the last season.
That's fair. That could be fair. They all run together.
Regardless.
I have one trophy in my trophy case.
Irregardless, whatever it is, whatever the word is. I don't know the word. We've been doing picks this year, and I am so far underwater. I'm like 25 picks underwater. And I just went 0 for 10.
My fake betting account.
Let me read you these. Yeah.
With on Action has actually done really well this year. It's too bad that I never do that well with my own money.
You want to make these
That's
picks?
why I stopped using my own money. Yeah.
Listen how bad this was. I picked Bengals -3 before Joe Burrow was out.
Yeah, good call.
Dummy me. I triple played Texas Tech -3. If they would have kicked a damn field goal at the end instead of running out the clock.
I know. I remember you telling me that you had Texas Tech -3.
0 for 4. I picked Kansas State +7.5. They did not cover, but they won. I picked Iowa State, and that game was close the whole time until it wasn't. Texas pulled away at the end. They did not cover. Picked the Panthers 10.5 because it's an NFL game. They did not cover. I took the Broncos -2.5. They win by 1. And then my free play, I was trying to fade myself and picked Oklahoma, and they won by 7.
Yeah.
Just a terrible pick. And then I have the Eagles tonight +3.
The Eagles +3 tonight.
Yeah, but I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I'm going to send you these picks. I'm going to let you pick these guest picker.
I think
literally just went over.
I'm going to take Philadelphia. If I was throwing a little cash at this game, I would take Philadelphia. The +3. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, don't fade me. Don't take them. Take the Chiefs because it's guaranteed they win because I'm over on this.
Yeah, it's true. But you got to win at some point, right, Rob? Like the ball's got to bounce your way at some point.
I guess.
Isn't that how it works or no?
Yeah, the due theory is certainly a theory.
Yeah. Yeah, you're definitely due after last week. Man, that bet on the Bengals was not a good look for you, though.
I'm 43-72. I'm 30 games under.
Oof.
37% clip.
Darn, I really wish we would have done the winner factory this year.
I mean, I am just hosed. And a bunch of them have been really close. What kills me is these triple plays. I always put my bet the wrong triple play.
So, yeah, that'll get you. See, and I had UCF last week, so I won that one too.
I think
I also said Iowa State would cover, and I thought they would for a second, and they didn't.
I thought they would as well. I think I picked a money line.
Yeah.
Not in that, but didn't matter. Anyways, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm fresh out of ideas.
All right.
I just looked it up. Texas is technically not clinched according to the Big 12, but there'd have to be a lot of scenarios where Texas loses to Texas Tech and everybody else wins or loses, and then it all just becomes a cluster. Yeah. So Roy was right. They have not quite clinched.
But I still think even if everyone's 7-2, it's got to be Texas, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that was what it said.
It's too far.
There's a scenario. Where'd it go? I lost it. Anyways, there was a scenario that said if Texas Tech wins and Oklahoma State and Kansas State both lose and Oklahoma wins, obviously it would be Texas and Oklahoma. If Texas loses and all three of them win, then
that's everyone's.
That's the only way that Texas doesn't have a chance at going into the Big 12 championship.
Nightmare.
But there was
nightmare scenario for the Big 12.
Yeah. Brett Yormark, I mean, I think you have to change this up, man. I know they've already released a schedule for the next 4 years, but there's still time to change it and figure this thing out because this is a cluster.
Oh, they're not implementing the 8 games. They're not implementing what I said earlier. That's not.
No, I know. But even if you just did divisions.
Well, even if you go divisions or pods, you can't play everybody, so it's the same thing. And everyone divisions.
That's how the Big 12 used to be, though. You used to have 2 divisions, and nobody ever complained about it, right?
Well, they didn't know. They didn't know what was missing.
Right. Right.
All right.
People complain about the SEC East and West all the time, though, because the SEC East had no business playing with the West until Georgia.
That's true.
So
I'm getting hella missed calls here from a 629 number.
Can't help you there.
And a voicemail.
Stop getting girlfriends in different states.
Should we play the voicemail? It's Nation.
Everywhere he goes.
Nation's Credit. Our records show you're able to qualify for consolidation loan to illuminate your credit cards and personal loans. There you go.
There you go. Get you a loan.
To opt out your messages, go to removemeplease.org.
Send them back a message and say, want to sponsor the show?
Yeah. What was it? Nation's Credit?
Yeah. Nation's Credit. All right.
You got plenty of that. All right.
Yeah.
People stopped listening like 10 minutes ago. So
yeah. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Comment what you're thankful for in the chat.